Hi, welcome back to Lead with Love, and thank you for clicking on the channel. This one, I'm going to talk about spiritual awakening. Like, how do you know when you're going through a spiritual awakening, or what are some signs? So we have like 21 signs that you're going through a spiritual awakening. There's also an article, so I'm going to include the article in the description box. So you can always go back to the article on your own free time. If you don't want to hear me talking about it on YouTube, you can go directly to the article. The link is in the description box and you can read it. So this article was published on February 5th, 2021. So it's not that old. But I'm going to go into talking about that. The 21 signs you're going through a spiritual awakening. So you've probably heard the talk spiritual awakenings and how they can learn to more enlightened. That's like woke, you know, people say woke. But does a spiritual awakening really mean what it does? It actually entail? Like, what is a spiritual awakening? To answer these questions and more, that's what the article is for. So I'm going to get into it. What is a spiritual awakening? The notion of a spiritual awakening has been around for centuries and can be observed in a variety of cultures and religions around the world. It's called nirvana. Nirvana, that's enlightenment. They call it bliss. It's a spiritual awakening. It begins the moment a person can step back and awake to their life with a new sense of being in this world. Like, everything is different. That happens usually with teenagers. They grow up a little bit and then you be like, oh, you done changed. It's like, you know, they evolved some kind of way. They grew up a little bit. But that's like an awakening. Like, they grew up. They stopped doing the stupid little things they used to do. Spiritual awakenings can be mildly unnerving at first, as they often cause us to grapple with questions like, who am I? Why am I here? You start questioning your life. But there can also be a certain element of wonder and excitement when we find ourselves suddenly feeling much alive and free. Like, you could do whatever you want to do. You don't got to ask your mom. You don't got to, you know, you're free to make your own decisions. The idea of the spiritual awakening was popularized in the Western world by famed psychiatrist Carl Jung, who described the process as coming back to the original self. But the experience of rising to a higher state of consciousness has always been an intrinsic part of what it means to be human. So we can get to a higher state of consciousness is by raising your vibration. You raise your vibration is by, you don't indulge in these things that are low vibrational. That's usually your friends. Like, your friends are low vibing friends, and then you always want to be with your friends, but you know, they got this bad energy and you got to stay away. But that's an opinion. Don't listen to me. That's my opinion. It's usually friends. But what causes a spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening can be triggered by anything. Completely mundane to completely life-altering. Mundane is like a basic kind of life, or something that's going to completely change your life altogether. A few common causes include life-changing events, like losing your job, moving far away from home, a car accident. And people who open a spiritual door for you, like a twin flame or a soulmate, that could be like a relationship. Like, a relationship can spark a spiritual awakening. Like, it could be a bad relationship. It could be a good relationship. You know, the spiritual relationships are twin flames and your soulmate. Those are spiritual relationships. You know, but when you're in a relationship like that, it usually brings about, you usually wake up. You usually wake up because you're not, it's not a regular normal relationships. Like, you view life differently. Like, life is different, and your partner who you choose to be with is gonna help open your eyes. Spiritual awakenings can be spontaneous, but for most they are triggered by major life changes or traumas. such as life-threatening illnesses, car accidents, divorces, war, pandemic, a war, that's one word, war, and pandemics, like we've been quarantined for like 2 years, quarter life or midlife crisis, mental health crisis such as clinical depression or anxiety or even near-death experiences. So it's like when people go through like a big life traumatic event, a breakup can be life traumatic. You know, it could be like it was important to you and it didn't work out. So it could be life changing. You're being diagnosed with a disease or something, and that can spark up a spiritual awakening. You know, you start like a near-death experience. It can make you see life differently. You know, you start waking up. A professional intuitive and the author, she's an author, explains ultimately anything that encourages you or forces you to look at your life from a more spiritual perspective can set you on a path towards awakening. So it's pretty much anything in life can spark up, you know, being awakened, like waking up, you know, having a baby, you know, you can wake up from that. Like you stop being the immature self and you grow up a little bit. Like, oh, let me stop doing this and that. You get a good job. Then you want to change. So those are small things. Or relationship. It'll be so bad. You'll be like, oh, I want to be a better person now. Like, that's examples. 21 signs and symptoms of a spiritual awakening. So these are pretty small. Oh, what I did. It's touchscreen, so it's not that bad for me. So, okay, I got it. Here are some signs you're going through. Okay, at first, the spiritual awakening process can feel overwhelming. You can feel overwhelmed, like this is too much, like you can't do it. But you can do it. You can do it. Overwhelming and confusing. It can feel like everything you thought to be true about your life was a lie. And as such, you feel disconnected and detached from the things and people that you used to love, you used to enjoy. You just feel out of place now because everything done changed and you done woke up from the lies. Like all these lies come out and you figure out like what has been really going on. But that's the first. that's one. What is it called? You feel disconnected or detached. You've reevaluated your beliefs, your belief systems. Like, you know, I grew up, I went through that, reevaluating my belief systems. I just believe in God. Just put it like that. Richardson notes, a spiritual awakening will likely cause you to revise your own spiritual beliefs or adopt significant new ones. Whether that means connecting deeply with a new religion or belief or quitting your job to pursue a real passion, your priorities are likely different now. Things change and you view things differently. I used to work in the courthouse for 14 years. And then from one day to the next, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I hate it here. And I resigned. Is more to it than that. But I was like, I didn't want to do it anymore. And I left and I quit. Resigned. That's the proper way to say it. I resigned. And I'm happy. I'm happier now that I'm not there. So that's reevaluated your beliefs. Like you reevaluate your life, your beliefs, your things that you do, your passions. Like what have you been doing with your life? Wasting time, or have you been actually doing something? Your dreams are more vivid. That's true. Not only is your waking life more vivid as a result of a spiritual awakening, but your dream life may become more vivid too. The meaning of your dreams, like these are books. You should get the books. The meaning of your dreams and how they connect to your journey may become more apparent as well. So that's true. My dreams, I never used to dream, but now I dream more. I dream more often, or I remember the dreams. They say everybody dreams, you just don't remember. But I guess now I remember them. You experience more synchronicities and deja vu. If you frequently experience mind-blowing synchronicities, like thinking about someone and randomly running into them the next day, or seeing angel numbers all the time, that is a sign you're on a spiritual path. Similarly, feelings of deja vu aren't uncommon either. I always see angel numbers. When I first started my spiritual awakening, I think the first number that I noticed was 444. And then I had to Google, what does 444 mean? And Google told me what it means. And what else? And deja vu is things that you feel have happened already. Like you've met this person before, or you were walking down the street before, or I was just here. That's a deja vu moment. Your relationship begins to shift. There can be no doubt. Spiritual awakenings can be transformative, and the people in your life won't always be able to appreciate that. The people you're closest to will hate it that you're changing. You may feel like your loved ones don't understand you anymore because you're changing. They suggest asking loved ones to respect what you're going through, reminding them that they don't have to resonate with your awakening. Like, it's not them going through it, it's you going through it. So just let you go through whatever you're going through and try to understand. Like, not everyone wakes up. A lot of people stay sleeping. Like, they don't wake up and see life what it is. You know, they want to stay asleep. So you just let them stay asleep. Like, that's why no one talks about it. Like, no one talks about the spiritual side or spirituality. And then if they do, they're charging you $500 to $1,000 just for you to discover what the hell you could have found online for free. Like, it's free information. And then you'll find people that will exploit others for money. And it's like, this is all information. Like, if you sit there and you really think about it and you do your own research, meditation is good to relax, to think, to clear your mind. Like, you can do all this on your own free time. You can discover yourself. You can find things about yourself that you never really paid attention to. And you can find something in it. Like, oh, that's what I was going through. Or I was going through that. I remember when, you know, it all makes sense. You know, sometimes a lot of people don't want to read. So that's why I'm talking about it. It's on the site. You can look it up if you want to. But I'm going to talk about it because it's like, spirituality is so big and important, and I love it, and I want to talk about it, but not everyone can relate to me. Not everyone understands me, or they think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. It's actual information that is online. This is things that happen to people, real life people, and we all go through it. You know, you just don't find people that you can actually talk to about it. Let's go back to the signs of the spiritual awakening. So I'm on 6. To feel spiritually becoming an important part of your life. You feel spiritually becoming an important, no, you feel spirituality becoming an important part of your life. Like, I feel like that. It will be hard to ignore the call from your spiritual side. As you go through this process, the desire to find meaning and fulfillment within your spirituality will be likely become one of your biggest priorities. So you'll always try to make yourself better spiritually. You want to grow, you want to heal, you want to evolve. You're more intuitive. That's another sign of a spiritual awakening. You're more intuitive. It's having new heightened intuition or new intuitive abilities. They're just showing up. They're always there, buried underneath the layers of your ego. You have to drop the ego. You have to have an ego death for you to figure out, or for your intuition to show. A lot of people don't pay attention to it, but everyone has it. Everyone has the intuition. And now that you've awakened, you feel more in tune with yourself. But the biggest thing is dropping the ego, because the ego, it's like you're just full of yourself and you don't see things for what it is or what they are. You just think of yourself and you're like, no, you have to drop the ego, and then you can see life for what it is. You see people, you see situations for what it actually is. And the ego has to die in order for you to get to this point. You can sense inauthenticity and manipulation. So you know when somebody's trying to run game. You know the game. You know when someone's being fake. You know when someone's trying to manipulate you, trying to trick you. Like, you already know. You can sense it. Let me just read it. In addition to the heightened intuition, you'll be able to sense any inauthentic or manipulative behavior when someone is deceiving you as well. Things that are out of integrity are hard to be around, she adds. Things that are out. So it's like, if a person doesn't have good morals, good respect, good, like, you already know when they're trying to trick you. Like, it's so hard to try to trick you. Once you wake up and you're spiritually awakened, it's very hard for someone to try to deceive you and trick you and put, try to make you think that you're stupid. Like, no, I see right through you. Anyway, 9, you realize everyone is on their own path. Like, everyone has their own journey. We're not all on the same level of the journey, and we all have different journeys. As you figure out your own spiritual path, you also become more accepting of the idea that everyone else is on their own unique path too. Things like winning arguments or convincing people of your views don't matter as much anymore. You don't like to argue and dispute things. It's like, you can take it or you can leave it. I'm not going to argue about anything. And people have their own path, so you don't have to argue about beliefs, religion, and it is what it is. You take it, you leave it, you can look at it, you don't have to. You can listen to it, you don't have to listen. Everyone has their own path, and you don't have to convince people that they can make up their own minds, and it's their own choice to do what they want. You want to be of service. As you begin realizing that every living thing is inherently worthy and equal, we're all the same, you will feel called to be of service, whether to people or animals or to the environment. It is important to you that you have a cause you can get behind to make your life feel purposeful. You want to feel useful. You want to feel like you're doing something in this world. It may not be about changing your current roles or jobs, but just approaching what you're already doing with a deeper sense of service. Like, you want to be doing what you love. Like, you want to help people. Like, that's what my purpose was. Like, I want to help people. Helping people is my passion. I wanted to help without people trying to get mad at me because I'm trying to be good to you. Like, I'm trying to help you. And, the way people are is just crazy. That was 10. You want to be of service. Like, you want to help. We're talking about spiritual awakening. Your teachers will find you. So people that will teach you, that will guide you, that will help you, people that are on your same path, they'll find you. According to Krazer is the one that wrote this article. During an awakening, your spiritual teachers may appear everywhere with perfect timing to help you. These don't have to be literal teachers. They might be a kind stranger in the store, a new friend you met by chance, or a literal spiritual or religious figure. So people come into your life when you need the most. So I can say that this person came into my life when I needed them. And I'm so grateful just for them to be there, to listen to me, to just be there for me. And I'm just like, wow, like, you came out of nowhere and you were right on time. So thank you. Thank you for that. Your teachers will find you. So 13, you feel more connected to the natural world. That's like the earth. You may feel less connected to your friends and family at first. You will feel more connected to nature. From plants to animals to the world as a whole, you will sense your interconnectedness to it all. And it may be quite moving. So you can like to sit on the grass. You can like to hug a tree. You can like petting animals, babies, all that. You like nature. You feel more connected to nature. Your senses are heightened, according to both Richardson and Krazer. They're doctors, writers, in reference to the spiritual awakening article. According to both, senses will often become heightened during spiritual awakenings. As you become more tuned into the present moment, these include sensitivity to physical, emotional, and energetic stimuli. Your senses are heightened, so that can be physical. Okay, it's like physical, doing something strenuous, something that's a little too much, energetic stimuli. Emotional stimuli. That's like watching a scary movie. I used to love scary movies. I used to like screaming and getting all scared. Now I can't watch it. I get too scared and my anxiety goes crazy and I get nervous. I can't sleep. I get so scared. So I can't even watch scary movies anymore. But yeah, your senses get heightened. Emotional. Start getting real sensitive and emotional. Everything is heightened. You have more bodily sensations. Along with heightened awareness and senses, you may have other bodily sensations too. Sleep disturbances are not common. So that's why you wake up probably more in the middle of the night. They say 3 is the witching hour. 2, that used to happen. I used to wake up all the time. But now I sleep straight through. So now I'm good. I think I passed that part. And 16, you may have physical symptoms. So, and then the other one was bodily sensations. Like, that's heightened awareness and senses. And then you can have physical symptoms too. A number of physical symptoms can accompany spiritual awakenings. Like fatigue and brain fog. That's like you're just tired or mentally foggy. Like you can't think straight. Though, of course, these symptoms could also be a sign of a medical condition. So see your doctor. If you don't feel good, go to the doctor. So don't necessarily write them off like, oh, it's nothing. Like if you don't feel good, go to the doctor. Don't think, oh, it's an awakening and you're about to have a stroke or something. Go to the doctor. If you don't feel good, just go. Now 17. There are sudden change in your habits and routine. As your spiritual life begins to transform, so will your day-to-day life, including habits and routines. Perhaps now you make it a priority to spend time in nature or meditate, or you've ditched old habits that are no longer serving you. So that could be true. Now I pray more. Like I wake up in the morning and I pray. I light my candles and I pray. I thank God. I talk to my ancestors. I talk to them. I'll be like, look, like, you need to help me. I just talk to them. I talk to them. They're my friends. And I light candles every day. It's a routine. So that is an actual routine. So yeah. So things have changed. Like I changed. And I pray in the mornings. And at night. But I pray it in the mornings like a ritual. You look out, your outlook on the world feels different. Again, spiritual awakenings aren't easy, and the alienation and ego-shattering realizations that occur can make anyone feel like they're living a new reality. It's just hard to find someone that you can relate to or that you can talk to about having a spiritual awakening or things that are changing in your life. Like, it's hard to talk about it with someone because then they'll just write you off like you're crazy or you don't make any sense. But it's an actual awakening, you know, because you're not out there drinking and partying and acting a fool outside. Nobody wants to hear about a spiritual awakening. But it's okay. So everything seems different and it's okay. Increased empathy. Like you just feel so bad. Like you feel everything. Increased empathy. You feel more connected to the world around you. You also have increased empathy regarding the suffering of others. Like you just feel bad. Like homelessness is it's a big issue here, because like everyone is homeless. Everyone is hungry. You know, people are starving. And it's like you feel bad. Like you want to help them. How to help? That's the thing. Because they make laws that you can't even help. The prevalence of suffering may feel impossible to ignore. Hence, why would you feel more called to be more of service? So you'll find a way to help. You'll find a way to help. You do donations. Some people do grab bags. They do gift things, and they just give it away because your empathy. Like you want to give. You want to help. You want to help the world. Any kind of way. Anything helps. You display more compassion. On top of feeling more empathetic, people that are going through spiritual awakenings likely feel more compassionate towards others while still wanting to hold them accountable. So someone can be wrong for something, but then you still feel compassion for them. But you still hold them responsible for what they did. You know, you stupid. You know, but you still feel bad for them for whatever's going on. You still have compassion for them. But you still hold them accountable for this foolishness. The last one, you have a newfound curiosity. And lastly, now that you have awakened to your life, you probably have a childlike wonder and curiosity for the world around you, even when things get tough. Being able to stay curious about your life and people in it, even when you're feeling emotional, is a sign of a spiritual awakening. So it's like to always have the childlike mentality. Like you don't have to be angry and bitter and mean. Like, you know, everything with the childlike and happy and compassionate and empathy. Like it's all these good feelings. The process and stages of awakening. You could say the actual spiritual awakening is just the first step on a long path of enlightenment. The initial awakening may happen in just a moment, but the process has many stages. So I made a post of this before. So we had the 5 stages. But they list them here. The spiritual awakening, the dark night of the soul, the sponge. What's the sponge? Okay, once you made it through the dark night of the soul, you're ready to begin creating your new and improved awake life on the 3rd phase. It's about trying things on for size. Oh, that's like you're just absorbing things now that you changed and you got rid of all the bad habits. Sartooth self, soul lessons, the surrender, awareness and service, and how to make space. The bottom line. Let's just go to the bottom line, right? How to make space for spiritual awakening. While it may not be easy, many would attest that spiritual awakenings are well worth the effort. Like, it's worth it. Once you wake up, once you spiritually awaken, it's worth it. Your life is so different and you see life so differently, and it's better for you. Developing daily, weekly, or monthly spiritual practices like meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, like people always have. They even have those affirmations, those manifestations. People created apps for that, you know, because it's to make your life better. Like, we just want to have a better life experience. In addition to that, people find you resonate with spiritually that you can talk to. It's just that people find you resonate with people you find people you resonate with spiritually. So you have to find people that are in common with you, that you can talk to, and you can talk about spirituality with. You can look for books, podcasts about spirituality that resonate with you. Practice self-love and compassion. That's what I always say. Love yourself. Be good. Be gentle with yourself and trust the unfolding All spiritual awakenings occur to guide us back into balance with our true self. Pay attention to your inner guide and intuitive nudges, as they're helping you harmonize and remove what no longer is authentic to your life. So it's like, listen to your intuition, because it's telling you things that you need to get rid of in your life. And you need to listen to your intuition, because it's just telling you what's best for you. You may not want to hear it, but it would make your life so much easier. The bottom line, spiritual awakenings are complicated, profound, and nothing short of life-changing in the best way. While they may not be easy, they will improve your life for the better with patience, trial and error, and a bit of time. You will find yourself in one. All there is to do is trust the process. Hang on tight and prepare for a newly awakened life. This article, because awakening, no one talks about awakening. Waking up, or how is it, or, you know, because it's a tough process. There's stages to it. You have to eliminate so many things. And your life is changed for the better. For the better for you. I'm going to put this article in the description box, so you can just put click on this description box, and you'll see the website there. You can click on it and it'll take you directly to the page. Everything that's on it, I went through it with you guys now. So it looks like a lot, but it's not a lot. My video's 31 minutes. Oh my God. But thank you for listening. Lead with love. Thank you for listening. And we are going to be awake. Everyone's going to wake up eventually with this. So 21 signs you're going through a spiritual awakening. And you might see some. You might be going through it. You don't even know it. And maybe this little video will help. Or the website. You can check the site. And it'll also give you some tips or points. That's it. Thank you for listening. Bye.